Mr. Fleming, obviously talking about the Euro final between England and Spain, which will be played at the Olympic Stadium in Berlin. What do you make out of England's campaign so far in the tournament?
First thing to be very honest about is that I support the Scottish national team, first and foremost. But of course, just as I'm the Deputy High Commissioner covering East and North East India, I represent all of the 4 nations of the UK: Northern Ireland, Wales, England, Scotland. So I'm delighted that one of those teams has made it to the final. Not my team, but I'm really, really excited and behind England. It's the first time we've ever got to a major final playing in another country. We of course won the World Cup in 1966, and since then there's much talk that we've never won anything since, or England have never won anything since. But this is a brilliant chance after the disappointment of the last Euro tournament, which was hosted in the UK, and when we lost out to Italy.
But talking about this team, who would you be banking for? Obviously, there have been great names for England doing, but any particular player that you would be rooting for in the final?
Well, we've got some great players. Jude Bellingham's name's behind me. He made a big impact in the first game. Quietened down a bit since, and a bit of controversy, but other players always emerge, and I think for me, Ollie Watkins, who scored the last-minute winner against the Netherlands, he for me epitomises so much about the good part of football in the UK. He isn't one of these players that went through top academies. He's climbed his way up from playing in our non-league and then in lower football league to get to be playing for Aston Villa and playing for England, and he's been disappointed not to be called up to previous squads for tournaments. Now he's here. It was his chance, and he really took it. My goodness me. So I'm thrilled for him, and I hope that he has another brilliant game on Sunday night in the UK, Monday morning here in Calcutta. That will make a huge difference. On England's approach to this tournament, they've had a lot of criticism at home. Fans have been disappointed with their style of play and all of that. I'm actually a fan of the England manager, Gareth Southgate. Not only does he in the early days, he used to often wear the same fashion as me. He liked to wear his Nehru jacket, you might remember. So not only that, but he took over an England team that was a shambles. We'd lost to Iceland and goodness knows what else. And he's brought stability to the team. It might not be the most exciting, scintillating football that fans expect, but he's definitely delivered on England progressing. They did very well when we hosted the last Euro tournament, and this time, he's got us into another final. And each match, there's been that little bit more positive to take away. I thought the first half against Netherlands, England were really had their best 45 minutes of the tournament. Probably the best 45 minutes I've seen an England team play in quite a long time. Second half was a struggle, but then we had that little bit of good fortune, getting that last minute goal. Even the penalty, some people will say that was also fortunate, but let's not go into that. Perhaps it's England's turn this time. They're in the final. They're playing Spain, who have actually been the best team in the tournament so far. But everybody has a blip, and maybe it's Spain's turn to have the blip, and it's England's turn. And of course, all of my nation will be wishing that's the case. There'll be St George's crosses up in every street across England, and people will be absolutely glued to the TVs or in public areas watching the matches. The streets will be deserted. It's one of those occasions you just get once in a while, one of those times, and if England win, everybody will remember where they watched it, where they were on that day, and I think that's one of the special things about football, no?
And what would the celebrations be like here at the Deputy High Commission here in Kolkata? Means if the Three Lions go on to win the championship?
Well, at 3 o'clock in the morning, which is probably the likely time it all finishes, and the trophy gets lifted. I mean, I'm not going to jinx it for England, but you know, I imagine half of my colleagues will probably be asleep, and I definitely won't be here. But I'll be at my home. I've opened the doors to anyone who wants to come and watch with me from my team, you know, and we'll be having our own small celebration in that way. But if God is kind, and if the result turns out to be a victory for England, then we'll have to see what we're going to do to mark that, what will be a momentous occasion, and one that will be worthy of some kind of celebration. So we'll see what we do, but let's not tempt fate, because you know, we've still got a really tough match to play against a really, really strong European team I have much respect for.